It's like early in the morning and I am at Patandarbar Square waiting for the rest of my crew. And we're about to flag off on an epic drive, probably the first of its kind, from Kathmandu to Delhi on a BYD. And I'm taking the Dolphin with me, so it's going to be quite the journey today. And today's first stop is at Butwal, and I think it's going to be an all-day drive given the highway conditions. I am tagging along on a convoy with Nepal Drives, who are taking the BYD M6 MPV 7-seater. So I think it's going to be a fun, dynamic duo drive today to Butwal, where we then add an additional Atto 3 to our convoy, and then tomorrow is supposed to be Lucknow, and then the day after Delhi. Okay, so I am at Kurintar E-Stop, the Tigo charging point, and well, this is the reality of charging with EVs. There's always a line that you probably have to wait, but we're not that far behind. There's just one car ahead of us that needs to charge, and we're gonna get a spot. But the journey here was quick. It's 12:30. We've done over 100 kilometers, just about. We took the Sita Paila to Dharke Road, and we just gunned it. Energy consumption is about 13 kilowatt hours for every 100 kilometers, and my Dolphin's doing great. We did have some clearance issues here and there, but nothing too groundbreaking. It was just a couple of things on the side that had minor skids, but the suspension was good. AC was non-stop. Good conversations with my now new friend. And we just took turns driving, and we're now here probably going to get some lunch while we top up the car. I was also very happy to see that the road conditions have improved greatly since my last vlog. Like, I just came back a week ago at the beginning of 2025 on the Atto 3, and now I'm with the Dolphin heading all the way to Delhi. My friend says we can hit Bhairawa in one charge, but again, why would you risk it with an EV if you have a charger along the way? Plus, we're here to stop for lunch anyway now that it's midday. Okay, so I'm at Kantipur restaurant in Downey. It is 7:20 and I'm like exhausted. I'm handing over the car to Ashtray. He's my co-pilot, co-navigator. He's from BYD and he's like helping organize and navigate this trip. And oh yikes. This was such an extreme off-road test. So after lunch at Kurintar, we started off quite nice and easy. In fact, we got quite a bit of shooting done with Nepal Drives between the Mugling to Narayan Ghat section because the road was really nice. That made for some really good B-roll shots as well as drone shots that I'll have up on the screen right now. And then the moment we started hitting west from Chitwan, everything started going downhill, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I remember the BYD Dolphin's consumption jumping to about, let's say, 12-13 kilowatt hour for every 100 kilometers. And then we started climbing uphill towards Downey, and the road started getting worse and worse, especially the last 20-30 kilometers. Oh my god, all hell broke loose, including there's been a recent bridge that collapsed that has brought out a new diversion, and it was nightfall by the time we hit that part. We were following Google Maps, but we made a wrong turn somewhere, and so there were so many points where we were in the middle of a river I'm not kidding you. Like Google Maps showed we were on the middle of a river, but it was a diversion, and because you couldn't see anything, it was so dusty. The roads were so bad. We actually got lost a bit. Like the Dolphin had an extreme off-road test, not just our off-road test, and surprisingly, I didn't get stuck anywhere. I didn't have traction problems, except maybe here and there because there was a lot of loose gravel sort of roads. And then we finally hit the highway again after a proper 15 to 20 minute scare. Club de Novo. Almost like a proper 12 hours since we left in the mornings. Probably more, honestly. And the last stretch from Downey, Ashtray took us through some back roads and brought us to Bhairawa, and it was a blast. Like, we just went through at very fast speeds, and the BYD, I think efficiency wise, we climbed just up to about 13 kilowatt hours, and I think I'm gonna call it a day at the end here. It's gonna be a long, good rest, and then we're gonna hit the border and to Lucknow tomorrow. This is day 2 of our Delhi on the Dolphin journey. Time in the morning is 9:30, and my group and we all had breakfast, and we are off to Lucknow tonight. Someone from the BYD team in Lucknow is picking us up at the border and escorting us all the way, including helping us out with the chargers, because as you may have guessed it or not, but a new country means new charging infrastructure, which we as Nepali people don't know. And because of that, I think a little bit of help will definitely come a long way. So other than that, we are 1 hour from the border. The border crossing is what we're all anticipating to take the most time, and then it's just hitting the highway for a proper 6-7 hours. Okay, just crossed the border on the passenger side for now. Border was just simple checking, a lot of paperwork here and there. ID cards, had to take out our luggage to check a quick x-ray scan, and then it was a quick stamp of insurance papers and a permit we received from the Embassy of India about where we crossed the border and what vehicles we're taking, as long as with the occupants. And now we are actually en route to Lucknow. So I think first of all, it's going to be a lot of just hitting the highway now. It's almost midday at this point, and I'm gonna sit back for a while and scrub through some content while my friend Ashtray here is gonna take the wheel and take us to Lucknow, at least the first half of it. Okay, so I am at a Kia service center a bit outside Gorakhpur, and we have about 230 kilometers of range left, but Lucknow is about 250 odd kilometers, and given the highway speeds of 70, 80, 90 that we've been consistently hitting, we had to stop for a charge. Both the Dolphin as well as the M6 right behind us, and I think lunch is also going to happen, but the same problem as in Nepal is happening here in India. Batti gayo. No electricity. The lights just went out as we connected, so I guess that's going to take a bit. It's an international problem, it seems. The same thing that happened to me on my Atu 3 journey to Pokhara happened now here in India, Gorakhpur. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come back to charge. It's supposed to be a fast AC charger that hits up to 90 kilowatts. So I think I saw like a sub 40-minute timing for charging on this thing. But anyway, the road so far has been just toll booth after toll booth non-stop after the Sonoli border, one after the other, and I think for the most it was a good introductory traffic day into Indian roadways, where you had cars and vehicles and bikes coming in from all angles, all speeds, and all directions too, much like our Nepali roads. Just that it was a bit more high speed here, and I guess as a quiet Nepali road user, the horn blaring here has just been getting me a bit casually annoyed. I'm not going to lie. It did startle me a couple of times. Google Maps is showing what, 5 to 6 hours of road time to Lucknow from here still, given that we still need to charge our cars. So let's see how this goes. And yes, the lights came back. So I am not sure. I'll go and call the operator. Okay, it's 8:30. Just got stuck in massive jam at Ayodhya. Like a massive 1 hour jam due to the construction of a flyover. I'm in the outskirts of Ayodhya now, and I think it's 2 more hours to Lucknow. The car has been holding up really well. I feel like I've been talking more about my journey than the car, but the Dolphin's super stable on high speed, especially in these quick turns on the road, trying to like go through trucks that are slower and whatnot. And we've just been driving in eco mode. I was driving earlier in the day, then once it came into nightfall, I can switch with Ashtray. I don't enjoy headlight glare as much, I'll be honest. During the daytime, I wouldn't mind, but with shooting along the way, it's just taking longer than expected. Here's the interesting bit though. What we have noticed is that there's a lot of tolls on the road, obviously, in India compared to Nepal. Nepal doesn't have any tolls, but we've been doing the math. The one-time charge in India versus all the tolls between Nepal border Sunoli to Lucknow today is almost adding up to be the same. I think we spent about 600 on the charge, and we are about to spend 600 IC on tolls. And I think looking ahead on the map, there is still 1 or 2 more tolls left to pay. So my ETA to Lucknow is about 10:30 tonight. And it's been really nice though. My workflow has been quite interesting in the sense we take turns driving, and I think I noticed this when I was driving to Pokhara during last Christmas on the M6 test drive. When you have a friend that you can rely and trust on their driving, especially on longer road trips above 5 hours, then when you tire out behind the wheel, your friend is like sort of itching to go, and you know you're in good hands, so you just let go, take it easy. As for me in this case, I am posting stories on Instagram. When I'm done with all of that and my friend's like, okay, I need to make some phone calls and stuff, then we pull over, we swap seats, and then I'm behind the wheel, and it's so nice. That way you're making distance, but you're also not getting tired and all of that. So anyway, quite a rant on the side, but it's also getting very, very polluted. Like you can smell the smog in the air. As night falls, I've also been noticing that it gets even more busier and busier and busier, which is quite a surprise. I'm not gonna lie. The highway was actually empty in the morning as compared to now. Okay, Hilton, Lucknow, reached finally. Had a quick dinner of kebab at Tunde Kebab. Everyone just gorged on their food. I didn't even take footage of us eating because we were just so quietly and silently eating. But Hilton at Lucknow, M6 charges behind me, and there's my Dolphin, has a DC charger, as well as, I don't know what that is, a static Q station. India has its own brands of private chargers, and this one belongs to the Hilton Garden Inn. I am quite happy that they have this facility for their guests and also probably public users as long as you have the app. So, way to go, Hilton. Alright, tonight I'm not even gonna export videos, I'm just gonna hit the bed. So, see you tomorrow. Alright, a good morning to myself and anyone who's watching this. 7:30. I am with my Dolphin now and charging too. It looks like the car is fully charged, and it was a bit of a rushed visit here to the hotel. Yep, I'm at 340 kilometers at 100%. Let me quickly go ahead. Yesterday I traveled 362 kilometers. My journey so far has been 663 kilometers. So let me quickly go ahead and reset trip A, which is for today. And that's what I'm most curious about. 50% of the Delhi journey was done between day 1 and day 2 from Nepal to Lucknow. And then the remaining 50% is going to be today, which is Lucknow to Delhi. And that means today is going to be an astronomical long distance. Damn. In morning traffic through Lucknow, and oh my god, it was intense. People swerving in and out of lanes, honking everywhere. Kathmandu is so much easier. But anyway, behind me are the toll gates for the Agra to Delhi expressway. It's supposed to be a 3-hour journey. You're not supposed to go faster than that, otherwise you actually get a fine. They actually record that. We're on a quick toilet break right now because it's gonna be a while, and speed limit for private vehicles is about 100, buses is 80, I think. And the toll fees all the way to Agra were about, I think, 600-700 I see. So this is going to take us all the way. And now I've got to be careful, even though traveling at 100 would be blissful. I'll have to look at efficiency and range in mind, especially with the much heavier M6. I think efficiency on our Dolphin was around 11-12 kilowatts, but the efficiency on the M6 has already spiked to about 17, so we'll definitely keep that in mind, because our next charger is, I think, at the end of this expressway, as far as I remember. Okay, Agra, Dolphin, and we reached here with the nick of charge. The M6 was ahead of us because we stopped by about 100 km into the expressway to top up our Dolphin, thinking it would not make it. It would, but we wanted to go fast. And going fast means efficiency was going to drop. So we could have driven at a modest 60 to 70 and gotten maybe probably 11-12 kilowatt hour for every 100 kilometers, but then we decided to gun it at around 80 to 100, and we even tried its top speed of 160. JK, we didn't get there. We did get to about 154 at one point, but then range plummeted quite fast, and so both Ashley and I were like, nope, let's not. But then cruise control was fantastic on the Dolphin. I didn't take too much of footage on that, but it was very easy. Just lane centering, putting your hand on the steering wheel, and picking a constant speed of, I think we went around anywhere between 80 to 110. And here's what the efficiency sounds like. At the lower value, around 80, the efficiency was around 11.5 to 12 kilowatt hour. And then when I picked up the speed to about 110, which we did, by the way, to catch up with the M6 and the Nepal Drive's colleagues, I think efficiency jumped to about 15.5, nearly 16 kilowatt hour for every 100 kilometer. And that really depleted range fast. So then in the last 20-30 km stretch before this static charger, we dropped our speed down to about 65-70, just so that we could make it to the charger. And there were points, trust me, when it showed 30 kilometers left for the charger and we had 30 kilometers left on the dashboard. So a quick shift down of our highway speeds, and suddenly we were getting more range per every kilowatt hour. And so we came at the station with about 10 kilometers range left. Battery's down to about 3%. So we're waiting in line. It's the M6 charging, followed by the Tata Curve, and then it's going to be the Dolphin. Also a late lunch again, and then we're gonna hit the road. Next is the Yamuna Express that'll connect us straight to Delhi. But I'm excited because tomorrow onwards we have the Bharat Auto Expo, which I'll cover in another video, by the way. So stay tuned for that. And it's 11 p.m. already. I just checked in with my team at Crown Plaza in Delhi. The checking itself took over an hour. We were so exhausted from the relentless... I didn't even check the final statistics in the car tonight, but it was over 500 kilometers of driving. The entire trip was over 1100 kilometers from Kathmandu. So we topped up the car to 100% at Agra, and we had 340 kilometers of range to just cover about 230 to be precise, kilometers of distance between Agra and Delhi, this hotel that I'm staying at. And you can imagine what happened. Cruise control 110 kilometers per hour. The speed limits were about 120 and 100 depending on the zones you were in. And it was nighttime, but that didn't stop us. Yeah, I'm getting tired now. I realized that the people like us who don't have a smart tag have to pay a bit more. I also found out that if you want a transaction slip, like proof of payment, you're gonna have to pay a bit more, otherwise the toll rates are a bit less. I was asked to either give in a 50 or a 70 if I wanted a print receipt, and I was like, anyway, just some food for thought. I wonder how many people just go out paying the 50. My friend and I took turns at the final stint again to handle the car, and just as I was getting tired and sleepy, he took over, and by the time we were arriving at the hotel, we hit bearable Delhi traffic is what I want to say, because it was already 11 p.m. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here for now, and probably this vlog too